Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Oh, the Democrat Party clown show continues. You know, the question I keep asking myself is this really the best and the brightest that they can offer? How cringe and pathetic. I mean, they're really not sending their best here. The people who are now becoming the face of the Democrat Party are frankly a complete joke. It's a total clown show. The circus isn't down. I mean, talk about a lack of talent from Harry Sisson, David Hogg, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, representing the future of the party. And now with these totally cringe and intellectually dishonest clowns in the media, it just seems like the whole thing is going downhill and downhill fast, as possibly the worst elements of the party are now taking complete control. It's like I've said, the patients are taking over the asylum. What an absolutely sad state of affairs, especially on the spokesperson front. And the latest Democrat spokesperson that's been bringing nothing but shame and embarrassment to the party is none other than Democrat strategist Julie Rinsky, who's on an absolute tear right now, humiliating herself and humiliating the party in the process like I've never seen before. Let's continue to highlight this Democrat circus, shall we? Today's star of the show is Julie Rinsky. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so like I said, speaking of these clowns, we've got Democrat strategist Julie Rinsky doing a media tour here for the party, and oh boy, is this an absolutely humiliating affair. After embarrassing herself on MSNBC by claiming that Donald Trump committed an illegal act by promoting Tesla on the White House lawn, she's now humiliating herself once again on Piers Morgan's show, launching the latest and greatest in Democrat strategy, rhetoric, and talking points, going right back to a dead horse that they've beaten thoroughly into the ground, making the claim that Trump is mentally unwell.
I don't think Donald Trump is particularly mentally well. You may agree with me or disagree with me on that.
I couldn't
think
disagree
Donald
more. Trump to me is exactly the same.
Well, I'm glad.
Well, he's exactly the same. You may not like it.
But
you may not like it, but he's not. He's exactly
No.
the same Donald Trump I've known for 20 years. Honestly, it's like the same guy I met on day one.
Well, he's a bit different than the guy that I used to know when I used to be at Fox News all the time.
Really?
So let me tell you, I think
Why is he
he's gone
different?
a little bit off the deep. Yes, he is.
Why?
Because he is. He just is.
Tell me.
Because he's not with it the way he used to be. He's
In
just
what way?
not with it the way he used to be. But wait. Okay, I'm sorry. Am I diagnosing like psychiatrist here? I'm telling you right now.
You're the one making the allegation. I see no evidence he's not with it at all.
Listen, Piers. Here's the problem. The problem is that you guys would rather talk about Joe Biden, who has
You just
left
said
the
Donald
scene
Trump is
effectively,
mentally
and talk-
unwell. I'm
and
just
talk-
saying, what's the evidence?
Yes.
The guy
yes,
is 78
yes,
years old. He still does 2-hour.
I think somebody.
He does 2-hour press conferences. He does 2-hour rallies. He does endless off-the-cuff media encounters, way more than any of his predecessors. For a guy who's got mental problems, that's pretty bold.
I don't think that. Yes. Just because he's able to have the stamina to do that does not mean that he comports himself as somebody who is mentally well.
What an absolute farce. I mean, how pathetic. This is their idea of a Democrat strategist? What in the DEI hire is this? I mean, this is the best that they could come up with? Donald Trump is demented. He's mentally unwell. Piers Morgan immediately pushes back, asking for proof of her claim, and she responded with, well, because he just is. That's it. No facts, no evidence, just because I said so. The typical leftist argument, right? Make an outlandish claim and the source is always, trust me, bro, because it is, because I said. What an absolute farce, especially after Trump ran freaking circles around them in the 2024 election. The guy barely sleeps, he campaigned like an absolute beast. And after taking office, he got to work like you can't freaking imagine, signing hundreds of orders, doing hour-long events, taking questions, and running multiple events in a single freaking day. And at his age, I mean, the guy's a complete freaking stud, and this is what they're stooping to? I mean, who actually believes this crap? Meanwhile, we had 4 years of Joe Biden wandering around like a lost puppy, reading off teleprompters, or barely reading off teleprompters, malfunctioning like a damn cheap Chinese robot, barely able to finish a sentence without freezing mid-thought. But yeah, tell me again how Trump is the one with mental problems. No one's buying this crap. I mean, not even their own side is pretending anymore. And the hypocrisy, I mean, it's just so thick. After defending Joe Biden the way that they did, the guy barely worked and was barely able to function. We're now learning that he didn't even sign the executive orders that the White House was releasing. It was the White House auto pen that did it for him because he didn't even have the stamina to sign his freaking name on documents. After all that, they're using the argument that Donald Trump is mentally unwell. I mean, even their own side acknowledges their dishonesty.
You gotta be about preaching about what's important to the American people and what they care about instead of telling them what they should care about. You know why you can't make that argument anymore? Because you had your chance. You had President Biden up in that office. You knew he wasn't the same. You knew there was shrinkage that kicked in mentally. You knew that people were talking about him being incapacitated. This is before the debate on June 27th. You knew it, you knew it, you knew it. And they got you on camera chanting for 4 more years for a dude that was approaching 82 years of age that would have been in office until he was 86, assuming he got there. You didn't even think he was going to make it. And God bless him, I hope he does. But what you did was say, let's just get him through the election because the rest of us is running the government anyway. The trust of the American people were compromised. I'm a black man.
Lifelong Democrat Stephen A. Smith is even saying that the Democrat Party has lost complete credibility after propping up Biden for 4 years. I mean, to take this angle is just an unbelievable level of hypocrisy. And what's especially cringe is that they've tried this attack angle before, and it totally backfired and failed. They tried calling for the 25th Amendment back during Trump's first term, claiming that he was unfit and unwell. They suggested that he had mental decline and that the 25th Amendment was justified, bringing on all kinds of psychological experts and doctors to undermine Donald Trump's health.
There are some questions this morning about President Trump's health, and it's because of this video of the president where you see him walking very haltingly, one leg at a time, it starts happening here, down a ramp. And this is after he gave a commencement speech at West Point.
Donald Trump slowly walked down a ramp once with leather-bottom shoes, and they tried spinning that one clip into justifying the 25th Amendment, claiming that his brain was deteriorating, but it was total bogus, and Trump immediately responded by acing the Montreal cognitive exam, which pretty much shut them all up.
A few months ago, I took a cognitive test my doctor gave me. I said, give me a cognitive test just so we can, because you know what the standards were. And I aced it. I also took one when I was in the White House. No, I'll let you know when I go bad. I really think I'll be able to tell you because someday we go bad.
And now here we are again. We're circling back, I guess, as Jen Psaki says. We're coming full circle right back to the same talking point, and I've noticed that that's been happening a lot lately. They've got absolutely nothing going for them. They have no talking point that revolves around them. Everything revolves around Trump. Their entire identity orbits around the orange man. It's so cringe, sad, and pathetic. And this strategy, at one point, you're just going to run out of ad hominems, you're going to run out of attacks, you're going to run out of narratives and slanderous claims. And to be honest, Democrats probably ran out of claims back in 2019. And so now, in a desperate attempt to somehow gain some momentum, they're going right back to the old stuff, right? Donald Trump is working for Putin. Donald Trump is mentally unwell. But we've heard it all before. And I think the way most people are perceiving this is that the Democrats have no strategy, no credibility. It's a bunch of unserious people yelling nonsense into the void, hoping that it's somehow gonna stick, but nobody cares for this stuff. People know Trump is not unwell. You might not like him or the things that he says, you might not like his attitude or his demeanor, but that doesn't mean that he has a mental problem. And I think most people see this, and that's why Democrats are looking so awful. That's why the party is in complete freefall. Because everybody sees you Democrats for what you are. Liars. You're just lying for partisan gain, and I'm pretty sure it's obvious to literally everybody, except for the Rachel Maddow demographic. Boy, the Democrat Party is in serious trouble. This has now become the only thing left on the Democrat side. Just a bunch of dishonest propagandists, a bunch of unhinged liars, who frankly come off as dumb and desperate. This is all that's left on their side of the aisle, and it's just not a good look. It's cringe, sad, and pathetic, and I don't think anybody's buying it. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.